Hi guys, look what I got here. I have chicken drumsticks, 3 individually packaged. I can get 3 meals out of them. 닭미역국, which is what I'm making today, and 닭게장, spicy chicken and vegetable soup, and 닭칼국수, Korean chicken noodle soup. Today I am making chicken seaweed soup, also known as 닭미역국. I will make a separate video on the classic beef miyeokguk one day. But today we're going for the chicken instead of beef for a good reason. Now the weather is getting cold and the flu season is nearby. I want to call this soup a preemptive soup for the cold season. Like the chicken noodle soup you go for when you are feeling sick. 1.5 pounds of chicken drumsticks. It's good for this recipe. The ingredients, very simple. Seaweed, garlic, soup, soy sauce, sesame seed oil, and salt. MSG optional. Let's talk about seaweed. The reason I have to talk about seaweed is because I was at a Korean market one day and then this lady approached me and she was holding this kim, the seaweed that you wrap your rice with. She asked me if this is the type of seaweed to make this soup, miyeokguk. So I explained to her what she needs and I got the right type of seaweed for her. So it looks like this, like curly, tangled. So they come in a package like this, plastic bag. And you can see the product through the packaging window. There are 2 different types of seaweed that we use for soup. One is matured one. Those ones are longer and bigger and has thicker stem. The mature ones are tougher and thicker, so they don't disintegrate, so the soup will stay clear. The young seaweed, like these ones, since they are thinner and smaller, they do disintegrate into soup better, so it will give you like a milkier soup. That's the major difference. And nowadays, most people prefer the young seaweed like this, so most likely the ones you're gonna find at the market is the young seaweed. Okay, so that's 1 ounce. I'm going to give it a quick rinse. So we're going to rehydrate this seaweed in water for 30 minutes to an hour. The reason I say 30 minutes to an hour, if you're rehydrating this in a really cold, dry weather, then it can take up to an hour. But today I think all I need is just half an hour. Seaweed might have dust on them, some kind of foreign matter that you don't want. That's why I gave that a quick rinse so it can be soaked in a clean water. So we're going to wash the chicken, but before I wash the chicken, I want to get the water going to boil the chicken. So 6 cups of water. And I'm going to put this on the stove top and then get it going. I'm going to rub chicken with a little bit of sea salt here. First, 1 rinse. About 2 tablespoons of sea salt. I'm not seasoning the chicken, I'm only cleaning the chicken. Doing this will give you a nice clean tasting chicken stock. Oh, and do not remove the skin because skin will give you the rich flavor. Yeah, you know how people say never wash chicken, cross-contamination. You need to wash chicken. Only thing you just have to do really well after you wash the chicken, not only wash your hands, but you need to clean your sink. You don't have to wait until water boils. I only try to save time. That's why I boil the water first, but you can start with cold water as well. So I'm going to close the lid and then let this boil. Okay, so the water is boiling. I'm going to skim off the foam. Okay, I brought some water on the side. Okay, so that's good. And now we're going to add whole garlic cloves, about a handful. So about that much. Whole black peppercorn, half teaspoon. So, okay. I'm going to close the lid and then let this boil for 25 minutes now. It has been 25 minutes, so for the chicken, so I turned off the heat. Take the chicken out, put them in a colander. I'm going to remove the meat off the bone. I'm removing the skin as well. The skin and the bone will go back in the pot. I'm taking the meat off. We don't want to overcook the meat, but then we want to cook the bone for close to 2 hours. I don't want to eat this cartilage. I don't want this to be in my soup, but it makes a great bone broth. So I'm going to cut it and then put it in the bowl. And like this one, you see the cartilage right here. So keep it in that. The one thing we need to do to the meat while it's hot is that I want to season it with a little bit of salt. So I will shred them a little bit. 1/4 teaspoon. No, actually I like to sprinkle it with just a dash of black pepper. If you just shred the meat and leave it without seasoning, as it cools, later it develops this unwanted smell. So I'm going to cover, set that aside. On countertop is fine, and we're gonna go work on the stock. Okay, so now let's work on that scum that got stuck on the side of the pot. Can you see? Like here, you know that. So I'm just going to get kitchen towel and just see that clean. Okay, now put all the bones and cartilage and skin back in. Peppercorn and then the garlic still in the pot. Do not take them out. Cover, and we're going to cook for an hour and a half. So I wanted to check up on the stock. So that's the bubbling, boiling state that we want to keep for next hour and 20 minutes. So if yours is quieter than this, then increase the heat a little bit. And if yours is really crazy boiling, then reduce the heat a little bit. Seaweed has been very well rehydrated. You know, I read somewhere when you see a lot of foam like this, that's a good quality. If you don't see any foam, then maybe it's not. I read it a long time ago somewhere. Just sharing any Korean cooking related information. So what I like to do is long strips. You want to cut it. So it was only 1 ounce dry seaweed. And look how much we got. I'm giving a gentle pressure. I'm going to stop here. Water looks clean. So you would squeeze out as much as water. Do a good squeeze like this. So it's been 1 hour. I forgot to mention this earlier. So now at this point, we have to add 2 cups of water. The liquid had reduced quite a lot, and then you see the bones. So we're going to add, this is 2 cups of water. And bring this to a boil again. So why do I not add enough water in the very beginning so I don't have to go through this hassle of adding water later? Is because this applies to everything, like the soups that you make, whether you're making it with vegetables or bones or meat. When you add so much water in the beginning, ingredients that you work with, they just swim around in the water. They don't really release all the flavor. This is said by professional cooks, so I tested myself and it is so true. We're actually going to add 2 more cups later. Yeah, and you guys, I read this in a cookbook long time ago. We want to give it a little shock by adding fresh water so it will do better job of releasing the flavors and the good medicinal properties that we're trying to get from the bone. I know it's boiling vigorously like that, so I'm going to reduce the heat to medium high. So my alarm just went off, so it has been 30 minutes since I added 2 more cups of water. And now what I'm gonna do is add 2 more cups of water. So for this recipe, it's 10 cups total. 6 cups to start with. Added 2 extra cups at 1 hour mark. Finish off with 2 more cups of water. Okay, so it's boiling, and turn off the heat. After I turn off the heat, I'm going to let it rest for about 10 minutes. You know how when you cook a piece of steak, fish, anything, you let them rest. It applies to broth and stocks also. So I'm going to just let it rest for 10 minutes. It's a really rich stock. I could smell it and then see it too. This stock is so rich. You need to dilute it with water. 46 ounces. This is an optional step. This stock is not really greasy, but I just decide to separate the fat. Okay. So for the soup, we need 4 cups of the chicken stock. And I'm going to dilute this with 4 cups of water. The chicken stock and the water ratio will be 1:1. So the pot is being preheated, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon vegetable oil and then the sesame seed oil to the pot. And now we're going to brown the seaweed. The reason I'm browning the seaweed in sesame seed oil is because the sesame seed oil can get rid of the ocean smell that seaweed has. But the reason I had to add vegetable oil also is because sesame seed oil has low smoke point. So it's good to add regular vegetable oil. Why do I brown the seaweed? Is because everything tastes better when you brown. Because of the color of the seaweed, you cannot see it is being browned. So you do this until the pot is dry almost. You can see that seaweed got stuck on the bottom of the pot a little bit. That's a good sign. But we don't want to burn, so we're ready to add the stock. So this is 8 cups. 2 tablespoons of soup soy sauce. So if you're not familiar with it, there are many different types of soy sauce, Korean cooking, and 2 major ones are the one that you know of, soy sauce, and then the other one is called kuk 간장, meaning soup soy sauce. So you use this soy sauce when you're making soup. It is not caramelized like the soy sauce that you know of, so it's more clear, but it's saltier. If you don't have soup soy sauce, then use 1 tablespoon sea salt, garlic, pureed garlic. This is one of the very few Korean food that the garlic is added in the beginning of the cooking stage. A lot of the Korean food, the garlic is added almost at the end, but this is an exception. You add it early and then let the garlic really cook through. Bring this to a full boil and then reduce the heat to medium high or medium for 20 minutes. Chicken that we cooked earlier, but shredded a little smaller. So what I want you to know is that you can make a really rich, concentrated bone broth or chicken stock from drumsticks too, not only from the whole chicken. Now I'm going to let this boil for another 10 minutes. Let's take a look. Looks good. This soup is screaming healthy. I'm going to turn off the heat. Give it a taste. I want to put 1/4 teaspoon of salt. This is an optional ingredient. I'm also going to put a little bit of MSG, 1/4 teaspoon as well. And let's stir. So if you taste the soup right now, you can't really taste much at this point because it's really steaming, like piping hot. The best time to taste this soup is maybe like a few hours later after this completely cooled. Right now, you are immune to this whole flavor because you were working with the stock and the seaweed, everything all day. If you're cooking this for the first time, if you can save a little and taste it tomorrow, it's even better. And then so you will know how much salt or the soup soy sauce to add. Let me give it a taste. So that's delicious. I like to save some and freeze it. The day that I really need this, when I'm feeling under the weather, I can just defrost and then the soup is there ready for me. This is my tempered heat-proof glassware. Take out a little bit because when things freeze, it will expand, so I don't want this to explode. So I only filled it like 80%. I'm going to let this cool completely and put the lid on and keep it in the freezer. This is how you serve it with a bowl of rice. The soup is really rich and flavorful, and the nutritional benefits of seaweed. This is especially good during the cold seasons. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.